I will tell you a story about our country, about how the world around us changed, and how we Filipinos survived through it all. This story is about the past, the days of my youth in the 20th century. It was a time when we lived with what we had. The world was changing as the Americans took over our lands and everything became new. Even the language we spoke. They brought us to schools and taught us to read and write in English. We didn't know it then, but education was our way to break free. But the joy didn't last long. War came to our shores. The Japanese arrived and we had to leave our homes. The land was full of soldiers and we learned how to survive in the mountains, growing kamote and gabi to feed ourselves. I remember how we hid our hopes and dreams in secret letters sewn into clothes, sent to those who fought back against the occupation. When the war ended, we had nothing but hope. The Americans left and we stood as a free nation in 1946. The cities were rebuilt. We had new things, cars, buses, jeepneys, but the true joy came from being free to live again.
The proclamation of martial law is not a military takeover. I, as your duly elected President of the Republic, use this power which may be implemented by the military authorities, but still is a power embodied in the Constitution to protect the
But
Republic
not
of the
all was
Philippines
well.
and our
The
democracy.
1970s came with shadows. Martial law changed everything. We couldn't speak freely. People vanished in the night. It was a time when we lost our voice, but our hearts never gave up. We knew one day we would reclaim it. And then, my dear children, came the time when the Filipino people rose together. EDSA was the day we stood for freedom, peacefully with prayers and flowers in our hands. We showed the world that even in the darkest times, our hearts are brighter than the strongest chains. The 1990s brought change we never imagined. Computers, the internet, and mobile phones made the world smaller. We could speak to loved ones overseas with the touch of a button. And though we faced challenges, we embraced the technology that made our lives better. So, my dear children, our story is not just one of struggles, but of triumphs. The 20th century was a time of transformation, one that shaped our nation, our culture, and our very spirit. Remember, the strength of the Filipino people is not in the things we own, but in the hearts that refuse to give up.